I thought it was cool. I thought it
that's
made him,
great.
and I think it made him human.
I mean, yeah, I mean, another thing. Well, I think Trump is much more relaxed than Kamala. I mean, I, I don't think she could answer a question off the cuff or anything that went into the embarrassing area or something like that. I don't think she could handle it. She's stiff. She's dumb. She's dumb as a pile. Dumb. She's dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, at least, I mean, if you don't like Trump, at least he's got something to say to get you motivated to go after him. But I mean, Kamala flatline it would be. So I mean, I think only he could carry that length of time of an interview out like he did. Nobody else could do that. I mean, not Kamala in a way.
Do you think it changed anybody when they watched that? You think?
No, I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody's on the fence at this point. You? How could you be?
No.
I mean, I mean, it's either a hard right or well, I don't even think it's hard because he's mostly moderate. He's got a lot of people upset with him on his views because he's not going with the war hawks.
Right.
He doesn't want. He doesn't want to go to war. He wants to lower taxes.
We want to, yeah.
Two things that the Rhino war hawks hate.
Yeah, they hate. Another thing is you can't question any narrative about where our allies are. We're supposed to always back them. That's amongst the Republicans. But see, it's like here's the thing: is I mean, when I was a kid, I was always told when I was graduating from high school, they kept on saying they were called the warmongers. They called the Republicans the warmongers. And somebody actually put a billboard on the back of a pickup truck and had it placed right there in the strategically around Lewis Street. It says Republicans warmongers and question mark. There's a World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. What do we have in common? All Democratic have presidents at the helm, right. And it's true. I mean, that's the thing is, but it seems like the Republicans have gotten more pro military action than they had been before.
I think we talked about it before. They're no longer the Republicans of before. They should just call themselves MAGA.
Yeah,
because they're not Republicans anymore. Right.
Well, it's like I know there's still the diehards, like the one that's just stepping down. I think he's more like the
I think what do you think? I think Mitch McConnell was told to go away.
Yeah. From the light of this, especially if we got a real good chance of getting Trump, and which it looks like we're going to likely get him in again. Yeah, I think McConnell would be a millstone around their neck, not to get just politely ask him to go into sunset, because he would pretty much useless if for Trump.
Who do you think told him?
I think Donald Trump did. I mean, look, Donald Trump, like you said earlier on the Joe, he's been happy the whole time, and he knows it's his game to lose.
Right.
And he's not going to go in there like he did before. If you listen to Musk, and I forget what I wish the person that's coordinating the transition, the head of the transition team, they don't have any politicians on their team.
No.
And I'm sure they hate it. I'm sure they haven't let the list out yet either. And I suppose it's probably killing the mainstream Republican rhinos.
Yeah, it goes back to the time when like we alluded to a couple of episodes ago, podcast ago, about when Clinton was president in the midterm elections. The Republicans got swept in the House and Senate, and the new coming freshmen of that group that was coming in were actually typically they have them go through this one training program, how to work inside of DC. It's usually headed up by a Democrat left-wing leaning organization. Well, actually, the Heritage Foundation stepped up and took the reins on that one, and that pissed off everybody, the mainstream establishment of the DC at that point. And I think you're going to have something quite like that.
But I don't think it's going to matter because Trump is smart enough. He has a voice. He doesn't have to go through CNN and whatever. He can go directly to the people and pressure them into doing what he wants.
Yeah, because face it. We don't know. We heard a little bit of reference to it about the Federal Communications Commission. If somebody want to report this person, that person. We didn't hear about this before too much, but that probably did go on. Trying to use pressure, and that he could easily use that kind of pressure, to basically get people more on board, a fair and balanced approach.
You think if anything's happened during this election season is that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump and Vivek Swamy have neutered the mainstream media and made them useless, where they thought they were in that mix with the political elite.
Yeah,
they thought they were elite too, and they're telling them they're not anymore.
Well, basically, they have taken mainstream media, like we've all said, and put them in the way back, and then they've taken podcast people and directly gone to podcast people,
right?
And Joe Rogan, people like Joe Rogan, and everybody like that and they've got the word out that way,
But
and that
what-
has made it a million times
But
better.
wouldn't it be better if the press corps reflected that? And that's the type of people that they had, and no more stupid Washington Post.
Did you go to Columbia and graduate from the School of Journalism? You know,
yeah, I understand, but I'm asking a question. Wouldn't it be better if if it reflected podcasters?
it would be better, yeah. But again, you got all these people like Nancy
But
Pelosi.
if you're in charge of it, you don't have to have Nancy Pelosi's an agreement blessing to form the press corps as you see fit.
Well, I agree. I agree.
That does it's not they're not appointed by Congress.
No,
I think
that's
that's what's scary. That's what's scary.
Scary.
That's what's scary in this whole swamp.
right.
Is because when Trump's coming in, he's coming in a whole lot smarter this time than he was last time. Last time he came in with the swamp leading him. Swamp monster was leading him last time. This time, Mitch McConnell stepping down because he knows Trump's coming in, leading the MAGA. And you're right. Trump probably did say, "I'm coming in. It's done. Your whole time's over." And I do believe that he's going to use a lot of guys like Joe Rogan to get the word out, and a lot of different podcast people. Because honestly, JD Vance has done nothing else but dismantled totally. He took on Jake Tapper this weekend and totally destroyed him. Vivek does the same thing. Charlie Kirk does the thing all across the state, all across the country. These guys are very strong about what they do, and they're very good at it. So they have taught people how to do podcasts.
Do you think they're like when they're going on these podcasts with these different people that they're more or less like interviewing them or to see who gets the word out better and maybe putting together a list of where they're going to go?
I definitely think so. Yeah, I did. Preferred sources. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, our establishment about media, our establishment media was established that way. Our politicians decided who they thought was more sympathetic to them, and now they got more and more unsympathetic people who are doing podcasts. That's it. I mean, that you should make that's what the part of the press is supposed to be about, to make them feel uncomfortable, have to ask questions, answer questions, to be more transparent. And it hasn't been that way for 60 years that I'm aware of.
Well, it should be in bed with each other, and they're in bed with them.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, Murphy Brown showed that. I mean, it was just this fictitious thing, but it reflected reality. And these people were on each other's speed dial or on their Rolodex. I mean, these people were part and parcel. They partied together.
But it was a lot easier back then when there was three channels that you could go to on your TV,
right,
to control the narrative.
Right. Well, the thing is, you got people like Joe Rogan, who would probably make millions and millions of dollars doing what he's doing because of the podcast, but because of advertisement and stuff like that. But he's got to be dependent on that, coming in constantly. Whereas, they had a separate group, the media always had people selling ad space for them, and there's a divorce going on. Now I think this is going to let the podcasters run the media, or allow to have a big say in it, is going to actually be more reflective of the alleged democratic process everybody says it's supposed to be about.
But if you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, it's only things that he likes that he talks about. There are no sponsors unless maybe, I don't know. I've never listened to him on Spotify. I don't know if they have commercials during a show or not.
They do. They've got commercials he likes. It's exactly what he likes, and he runs his show the way he wants to.
But they've already tried to cancel him twice
for misinformation.
Yeah, but it doesn't work because they don't have the power that they think that. I'm talking the media and whoever else. They don't have the power that they think they have anymore.
My mom would use the expression "people's noses out of joint" because basically they're being cut out, and that mainstream media, also the elites of DC, such as the congressman, senator, been entrenched, just had this camaraderie amongst them, and they're now that's just like diminishing.
But I think
they don't know how to handle it.
I think with this new podcasting group that's coming up, we have a voice now.
Right.
We can be heard.
Right.
Not like before. I mean, look at even on X, Joe Rogan, even on X, Elon Musk sometimes responds to people that write to him.
Right.
More than the media, I would think that would have some intern responding.
But you had to have some kind of business pedigree for them to respond to, or already a mover and shaker they've established before they would respond to anything, or even be interested in what you had to say. The mainstream media.
Even then they don't.
But even you can go viral on TikTok. You can have an opinion and put it on TikTok, and it could go viral, and it can make a difference.
The news about the girl that was killed, the Marine that was killed, and Trump's and the funeral.
I don't know if she's a Marine,
or
but
the
anyways,
soldier who was
they
killed.
tried to make him out to
Right,
be
the
a
Atlantic.
horrible person and bigoted and racist.
Well, then where it went away was when they found out that guess what? The person that owns Atlantic is Steve Jobs' widow, who's best friends of.
It
Kamala
didn't go
Harris.
away because of that. It went away because the family came out and said it was bullshit.
Right, it's bullshit.
That's why it went
But
away.
the reason why it's getting pushed and everything and all this other stuff was the reason why the guy would say no, it's true. The problem is that guess who owns Atlantic? Steve Jobs' widow.
Okay,
And Steve Jobs' widow's best friend is Kamala Harris.
but it doesn't. Again, it doesn't matter because, in my opinion, they're irrelevant. Don't you think? Who cares about Steve Jobs anymore? He's old news. How many years has he been dead?
His
10
money,
years, 12 years.
his money,
His money, okay, but
his
his money's
money
not
owns-
doing anything good. When's the last time you read the Atlantic?
I've never read.
Okay,
I read
then
it.
that
It was
should tell you something.
45 years ago, I think I had a copy of it. I think I was still working at the university.
I think I read it one day when I was bored.
The only reason it made the news is because the legacy media is upset because it didn't work.
Right. No, I'm just saying the story was stupid. It was wrong. They tried to do a hit piece on them. They went to the best way they could go with it. Try to hurt Trump. They'll do everything they can. All they're doing is pulling out every way they can. Joe Rogan came out and said, "Here's a one shot to go into it." You're right. Kamala Harris couldn't do a 3-hour show. That's why she didn't do it.
That's the same thing when they tried to float that picture of her out as a McDonald's employee in uniform. And people should be more upset. They took it off a memorial site for a dead woman.
Yeah. And no one said anything about that.
No, nobody's saying anything about
uproar.
that angle, about how disgusting they are. It's a memorial site to this woman and her life, and they're going to lift the picture off it.
That's that's beyond a vulture. I mean, that's even worse than a vulture. I mean,
But they do that all the time, and no one says anything.
well, and it's going to get worse because, everybody uses AI now and all this and that. That stuff's going to come in. This is going to be impossible unless I don't even know how you could ascertain, veracity of anything anymore. I
Well,
don't.
and the thing is that, okay, you would think if somebody did that with Trump, that he would immediately, his people would be denouncing it and say that we never released that picture and it's disgusting that they even did it. She hasn't even talked about
It's
it.
just, oh crap, we did they stopped us
She,
in that one.
meaning Kamala Harris,
Yeah.
hasn't even come out and denounced that picture. And no, I'm just going to let it go out and let the dum-dums that think it's real, let it be real to them.
There's no way you can deny it because the background on those both pictures are exactly, the furniture, the piece of furniture behind like it's a break front or
It's
China
like a
cabinet or whatever.
hutch from,
A hutch or something,
from
yeah.
the 1970s. Well, exactly when that period of that picture was taken.
Right. It's-
Dark brown.
I mean, and it's pretty sad for Kamala for actually say that she worked at McDonald's and can't offer a proof in it. And every time, and then here she didn't think the corporation kept records, I guess, although she should know that because she belongs to the government, which forces us to have all kinds of records on if you have a business.
She
So,
prosecuted.
yeah.
But have you heard her newest thing? And I forget exactly where she spoke, but when she spoke, she channeled Martin Luther King.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
And I think she even used part of his speech when
Oh
she
my
was
God.
channeling him.
hey, Kamala, you know what though? If this doesn't work out for you, and your career bombs, you can always become the next Rich Little. You remember the guy? who
Oh
used to
yeah.
do all those impersonations.
I go back and listen to him.
Yeah.
He was
He was
actually
good.
pretty good.
So you can
I
work
didn't
on it.
He's not,
appreciate
but
him.
he's good. He was good.
You could go to the nightclubs there, Kamala, and you have a new act.
Well, new act. Yeah, going to bars and pretending like she's a regular person with Whitmer
Yeah.
when they had a beer together in Grand Rapids.
You mean when they shut down the bar? And then
I don't know. I
had a
never.
photo op?
Oh, they did
What?
do that.
They shut down a bar, had a photo op.
Oh, you're saying okay? I thought they meaning the people shut it down. You're saying that they have to. It's a president. It's a vice president of the United States. She can't just go in a bar.
Right. You're gonna have
Just like I'm not defending her. I'm just stating the truth. She can't just go in a bar.
And have a drink.
So
Yeah.
it has to be shut down, and the Secret Service has to be there.
Yeah.
Have a drink with them.
Yeah, but she's just fake all over the place. This is like when she said that Beyonce was going to give a free concert.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I heard
She
it
got
too.
so much backlash off this one.
Oh, Beyonce came there as a mother.
Oh,
Not an
I didn't know she
artist.
was a mother.
Yeah, she is.
She's a
I
mom.
didn't know that. That's how
But,
much.
but I
pay
mean, what do you
attention
think
to
of
her.
the concert that didn't happen and the people walked out and then
I think
they
it's
started
started chanting Trump, 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 and she did that thing again about it. you're at the wrong rally. Go to the smaller one down the road.
Yeah, smaller one.
Madison Square Garden with 70,000 people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about inside and outside.
Well,
I think
Mr. Moss was the one in Vegas, and there was like 39,000 people that it was at the University of Nevada at Las Vegas, and I guess it was filled to capacity. So yeah, you're gonna tell me, and the one I saw up here for Trump, then I saw the one a couple
the one
weeks
you
ago.
went to.
Yeah, the one I went to. Okay, and then I turned around a few weeks later. They had one for Harris. There was no way as many people there as there was for Trump. No way in hell. Nowhere in hell.
Yeah, I saw it. They were trying. I remember the one that was there for Trump. I remember.
Yeah,
we
you were there. Yeah,
it was up and down those rows, and that was no way there.
But
Trump.
something scary that I seen, they scanned all the phones and they knew exactly how many phones were around in the rally.
yeah.
And they were talking about I think they said like 40% of the people there were new IPs that had never been to a rally before.
Mm.
How did they know that? And then all of a sudden they said they got data on Kamala Harris, and it's like 50 to 60% of the people are the same people that go to every rally, according to the IPs and the data. How can they collect that data?
Well, because it's
I know. I'm just saying how scary it is.
that is scary. But we've allowed it. We've allowed the government to use this thing about security every time to screw with our privacy. And I guess the only thing I could say is, and I'd like to find a Faraday cage maker, the ones of the fabric one. We'll tell them, man. We'll plug you, man. Just send us a couple of them for our phones, and we'll talk about, hey, this is your option you got to make sure these assholes don't have your access.
Not only that, it's found that Amazon, well, I forget what the mother company of it, has developed a snooping software that can listen to what you're saying. I mean, they've got it proven that they have the software that can listen or eavesdrop to develop ads from.
Oh, we do have a comment here from a viewer. The celebrities that the Dems have trotted out have been implicated by P. Diddy's child trafficking and Epstein.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what also killed Tony said. Tony Hitchens, he did say that also. He made the joke that Kamala Harris's rallies and the celebrities that they have looks like a P. Diddy party.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and we guess what though, we're going to have a few people who are going to face that. Getting to that, we didn't even have that in plan, I don't think. But you're going to have a few people maybe prosecuted, maybe P. Diddy himself. But the bulk of the people for Epstein's list and for P. Diddy's, the people around him, they're just going to be basically going
Trump
away.
already said that list is coming out for Epstein.
I hope
think
so.
is a good thing, because I hope Bill Gates is right at the top of it, and I hope that somebody needs to hold Bill Gates feet to the fire.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, because they just want they think they got enough money and enough clout they can actually remove themselves. If you, like they always tell us, if you got nothing to hide, if you got nothing to fear, what do you got to hide or whatever? I mean, come on forward, tell us why you went to that. Why you hung around P. Diddy? Why'd you go to Epstein's Island? Okay, we'd like to know.
Well, I
that.
understand at first. I mean, it was probably the place to go when you didn't know to go there, and then once you went there, you probably didn't. If you didn't go back,
going back would be the stupid.
And then wouldn't you be worried to be involved in that, and not only the repercussions on you for being there in the first place, but the type of people that are there would probably kill you.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty scary. I bet. I mean,
I'm worried about threats of death, wouldn't you?
I would be, but this is that thing when they're talking about the ending within, and I think this is where Trump is saying, there's a lot of stuff we have to clean. Yeah, we have to clean up a lot of this stuff, and this is where they're scared of. This is why they're like, oh, he's going to tear up the military after you. Listen, he wants to clean house.
He's already been in office. He was in office 4 years, and he didn't use the military once on anybody.
No.
And he didn't go after anybody. The first thing he did is just said it goodbye and goodbye, Hillary.
They're afraid that what they've done to him,
I
he's going
understand.
to retaliate against that.
And the temptation, if I were him, the temptation would certainly be there.
I think the man is focused. And he knows exactly what he wants to do. He doesn't want any of that old garbage coming out. He just wants that gone behind him. And I don't blame him. I want COVID and Clinton and all those people behind me too, don't you?
Yeah. And I think the thing is, the question they asked Elon Musk yesterday, how much do you think we can cut in the first year? $2 trillion. And I think that's where he's focused on. cut the
I think the total
Yeah.
was like 7 trillion,
Well,
wasn't it?
we do have another comment too. Why did Bill Clinton go there 23 times on Air Force? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd like to know that. I mean, that would be if you used the U.S. taxpayers' money, and let's face it, they're politicians. That's all they got.
But again,
But
I did use it.
I just don't. I maybe have a commission on it, a blue ribbon panel or whatever. Let them investigate it and go off in the dark.
Yeah,
And whatever they come up with it. But I don't want something going on daily that's going to take away from what Trump is actually doing when he gets in office.
I would just hire a bunch of private investigators with real no connection to anybody politically, the political groups, and then say carry this out, and then bring your findings
Right.
to us. That's it.
like a blue ribbon.
Right,
Just let it
exactly.
go.
What scares me is that blue ribbon committee is going to end up dead.
Well,
Then don't tell them who it is.
Yeah, don't reveal who they are.
Don't even tell them it's. Why even tell them it's happening?
If I had the money to do that, I would just hire people randomly. They wouldn't even know they're working with, on the same
Right.
team. That way they can make it easier, less likely to get
I'm
a
sure
hit.
just there's enough information for them to go off of that they don't need to
Right.
get witnesses or whatever. But again, I want all that's behind me. I don't want to deal with any of that trash.
Let's just get to the point about working with America and get it done.
Yeah, it's like I said, the children have been in charge for
Let's
too
get the
long,
adults in.
tearing everything up and showing their ass.
Yep.
It's time for the adults to come in and act like adults.
I like the new slogan. She broke it. We're fixing it.
This all reminds me when you said children. John Lithgow one time said Hollywood was basically like high school with lots of money, and it's even more so in DC.
Right.
Because they basically they print the money and they do whatever they want with it.
But what do you think of the moniker that Elon gave himself of Dark MAGA?
Dark
Oh,
MAGA.
yes,
I like
yes.
that. Did you see the hats?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
beautiful.
it. That's how,
Trump was saying that they've sold out of those hats, and I can see why.
Yeah,
It'd be a cool hat.
I think
to
that
wear.
whole team right now is having fun because they know that they can have fun right now.
and besides, I mean, Trump, and another thing is too, all these other people, these career people, and I consider Harris to be a career politician because the role she was as prosecutors is a politically attached, department of office.
I'm sorry, when you said prosecutor,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to get raised a prostitute.
Well, there
Sorry.
is
But
similarities.
you guys were
but-
talking about having fun. Trump's talking about appointing a guy named Sid Miller, who's a former rodeo cowboy who's threatened to hunt down moderate Republicans and called Hillary vulgar names as Secretary of he wants to put him as Secretary of Agriculture. He called Hillary a cunt and said that he wants to hunt down all the rhino Republicans.
That'd be fun.
Well, it's no different than the threats they put on us. I mean,
But I mean, at this point, if you were Trump, would you even care what the media said about your appointees?
no.
And again, like we talked about before, would you even waste your time
Get 'em
going in
appointed.
front of Congress
No.
and just let them be acting the whole time?
directors, let 'em go.
I would just get people like Rogan and maybe 3 or 4 other podcasters say, we're going to set up and do a press conference here. This is who's going to be here. You're going to listen to it just straight, no networks, because the network heads are like all filthy, filthy people. I mean, they're
Oh, look, you
That's
get
how
what
all
was
of it.
his name? The one
Jim
that was
Acosta.
caught masturbating during a Zoom meeting.
Oh, Tubin.
no, was it Tubin or was it Wiener?
No, not Anthony Weiner. No, but anyways,
Tubin.
but that's the type
Tubin.
of people that they have.
Yeah.
The guy he does that, and all he does is step down, and it's not. Nobody cares. It's okay because
Then they bring him back.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's
As a
the type
local
of people.
analysis.
That's the type of people that we have running our media.
Yeah. There's
Disgusting.
lower rung people. I mean, lowest rung, bottom of the barrel. I mean, the bottom of the sewer.
But how do you feel about a former rodeo cowboy, Secretary of
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
Yeah, that's a big
I
word.
think it'd be fun.
I'm learning big words as we do these shows.
Why not? I
Yeah.
mean, if he knows what he's doing, let him have it.
Well, he's a millionaire.
Well,
I'm a billion. I don't think he's a billionaire too.
Did you ever see the excerpts from that TV show? It's called Yellowstone, and Kevin Costner played that rancher. I don't know
Yeah.
the guy's name, but I like the clips they put with the shorts. He just cuts to the crap, and he's like, he talks to the environmentalist wackos and all these vegans and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And that's you need somebody like that.
But he did that, and people thought that they were going to eat him alive. And he said, "Well, you have some good ideas. We need to talk."
Right.
And he talked to him.
Right.
And why shouldn't you talk to somebody? If somebody upset with you enough to come in and they're going to boycott you and do different things and have protests, why not have them come in? We need to talk and find out what it is that I'm doing wrong.
Right.
What can I do to
How can we fix it?
how can we come to the middle?
Well-
That's the problem with today.
Well, look at the JD Vance. I mean, from my understanding, initially he was a never Trumper.
Right.
Wasn't? Yeah. Now he's like he's this vice presidential, running mate. I mean, how did he do that? I think because Trump basically put his fears to rest or his concerns, put them reduced them because he addressed them. And that's what I think that's what we should do. I mean, you can't shut off people because you disagree with them.
No.
Totally. Because they might have a valid point that you overlooked. Nobody can understand that. Just because somebody voices opposition doesn't mean they're going to be your enemy.
I mean, the history of the studio that we're in.
Right.
How many times have we talked about, do we really want to have these people in? And they turn out to be great people that we have nothing in common
Right.
with as far as their political beliefs. But as a human being, they turn out to be great people
And they're some of the biggest supporters we've ever had.
that we have still some
Still,
of them
right.
that come back.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, you never know. You could put aside, basically, if you just start seeing each other as humans and say, you got a concern, and I wonder why you think I'm going to be the cause of this, will be worsening this for you. Why don't we just sit down and talk about this? A lot of times you're going to find that their fears might be very real, but you're not really part of the problem.
But you can find out things that you didn't even know.
Right.
Because you're so high up that your people aren't telling you.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
these people have boots on the ground and they're letting you know.
because that's what the media is supposed to have been about, but it was basically everybody sat down in front of on their TV by their TV trays, eating in front of the TV, listening to these talking heads. They went to bed at night discouraged and dismayed and stuff like that. They couldn't do anything. That press that they were listening to did not encourage them to be involved, to sit down and try to talk to people from opposing sides.
But you and I are old enough that we got to watch it evolve.
Right.
I mean, when they had boots on the ground in Vietnam, they were just reporting.
Right.
They were telling you what they were seeing and what the troops were saying. Now
They're
it's a
saying
totally different world. They think they're elites and they shouldn't be questioned. And think that their opinion means more than mine or yours.
So you say, well, they think they're better informed. Well, if you sat down and had dialogue with people who are opposition to you, you'd be just as well informed. And that's what they don't want.
But what we did back then was when people were coming into depression, then we had Johnny Carson right behind that and Jay Leno right
Oh yeah,
behind
we
that.
were allowed to
Yeah.
have comedians
Because
make fun of people.
Right.
Yeah, pillar them and ridicule them. That reduces. Basically, it demolishes them a bit. But guess what? It makes them less horrific or less, like the bad music plays and so
But
Darth Vader comes in.
just like Chevy Chase tries to take credit for Ford not making his, I guess you call it his second term, but and Carter won because of all the falls that he did because he fell one time.
But do you notice they stayed really silent about Biden's falling 3-4 times in one trip?
He fell
He
fell down. Ford fell down the
Yeah,
stairs.
This guy fell up.
He fell up the stairs
several times,
3 times.
Yeah.
But
All at one time. One step.
That just shows so serious. Yeah, Ford was a klutz. He was also a very weak-kneed individual. I never liked him myself, but I didn't like Carter either, even worse. But
You got Reagan.
Huh?
So what do you think about the ballot boxes?
yeah, you wanted to talk about that.
yeah, the ballot boxes. Yeah, they were there. I guess somebody decided they don't want to vote, so they set fire to these ballot boxes they had set up on corners. It looked like from the video footage I saw.
But it was in Seattle,
Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah, but same thing. Just basically a few 100 miles apart, I think. But I don't understand it. I don't know what is the difference between Portland and Seattle.
I don't know, but it's just funny. I guess it was in a blue area, so apparently they're trying to blame Republicans for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just think who regardless who did it.
They're blaming the Republicans.
I'm
for
saying that's what I'm saying.
They're probably more likely.
Well, it's in a blue area.
right.
Well,
And then
who would burn ballots in a blue area?
The blue people.
Probably.
Yeah. Then that's a tactic that the left takes all the time. Do you notice that too, though? The blue and the red. True blue means people used to be true to the roots or something like that, and red was always associated with the left.
Well,
but now you got that.
But
changed
do
around.
you know Republicans used to be blue,
Right.
and the Democrats
Yeah.
were red,
That's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
and then they switched. I don't know why they switched.
I don't either because I think they're trying to. I think that people got connection, this connotation to they're seeing red. I see red means you're angry,
Right.
and that's what they're saying that everybody who's a Trump supporter or conservative are angry. Well,
One of
I
my
think-
friends who's a Biden supporter, Harris supporter,
Right.
came up with me the other day and saw me at a show, and they said, Todd, one of the studies she goes, do you know that they actually came up with the MAGA people actually are the only ones actually the majority of them are the only ones that actually put out their American flag. And I'm
I'm
like,
sure.
Yeah.
I looked at them like,
Well,
yeah,
not in this area because these people, the people here that I've learned since
right,
leaving retiring from the military, they're moderates.
right,
They're not. I mean,
Well,
they're moderate Democrats. They're more blue dog, and they have flags up.
right.
They're patriotic too.
But the most people you see across the country that are wearing that have the Trump Vance things, they're always the ones that have the American flags up. The Vance signs you don't see are not. I mean, sorry,
I think it depends what area you're going into. I mean, you can say the same thing
Yeah.
that I said, right?
Right.
I'm sure if you go into blue cities,
right, but they're talking about that.
that are more liberal.
Well, see this.
Because that's
It was
the
something
thing.
new that
That's
I
the
didn't hear
thing
about.
that I don't like is they compare us to New York. They can't compare Michigan to New York,
No.
and you can't compare it to Chicago
or California.
or California.
No.
We're our own thing.
Yeah. Well, another thing is too. Well,
Nobody can compare anything.
No, I mean even Florida. We probably compare us to like the people in Florida, but not New York, and certainly not California. And that's where they get most of their stupid studies from.
yeah, there's nobody. There's just like there's like two coasts, and the rest of us is flyover. And the political, especially left, that their view of the United States is left wing and right wing.
And it's the same thing with the national news.
Right. There's no intermediate in between area. There's no understanding of the differences. There isn't.
Is there one?
No.
But what I found out today is that Google has been the largest benefactor of the Democratic Party.
Really.
I don't know.
How many they get a lot of
money wise.
Yeah, that's what.
They've been given a lot of money. They're one of the largest donors to the Democratic Party. What do you think about that? Do you think it's time to
get rid of Google?
I think it is because
there's a transition.
You can't find anything anyway. And he said 2 different times where I got a gift card from my sister, right, for my birthday, and I wanted to cash it in or whatever. I went and put in the information that it gave me in the top, and I took the top one, not thinking, and I should have thought. And what it was is it was a spoof of the original company. And all they did is took my information and it kept on coming up an error and I couldn't figure out. And finally, I looked at the URL and it was for some like candy store or something.
Yeah,
and then when I found that out, I went to the actual site and I called the operator and changed everything.
Yeah, and Google just allows that to happen. Pop up the first selections. That happens a lot.
Google.
What do you use? A DuckDuck? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but DuckDuckGo is based off Google searches. It's not their own. They're not their own search engine.
Whatever happened to Alta Vista? I mean, who bought that? Or was that assumed assimilated by?
Probably bought and just thrown away.
Because I mean, that was
probably bought up by Google.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just scary. I think it's time for an investigation of them and maybe break up Google into smaller companies.
Oh, they do that if there was something, that it wasn't benefiting the Democratic Party. The Democrats be all over that, so for antitrust and stuff.
Maybe
I don't think it benefits anybody. But you had the same problem. Remember when we were doing a nonprofit thing?
Yep.
And we went and we weren't paying attention then, and we were putting all of our information into a site. Then we realized that it was when they started asking for $600.
Yeah, it was a fake site.
It was a fake site. It looked just like taking all of our information.
It looked very much like when we did get to the real site. It looked very much like that. They kind of, parroted.
But Google allows this to happen,
and they should have oversight. I mean,
well, with AI, there's no reason they can't.
Well, Facebook. I mean, how many times you see offering like a mini? The other day I saw a mini micro desktop, laptop, and it was $43 on Facebook. So I went and typed that in this search engine. They're like, it's still available at different sources, but $549 is the cheapest you can get one at. They had one for $43, and this was an ad on Facebook. There's somebody's taking the money. You're probably not getting anything out of it. You're just sending you the money. Yeah. So,
right.
So I mean, I'd like to know why they keep on doing that because if I were them, I'd be very conscientious.
Yeah, I don't click on any Facebook ads or anything.
Because what I do is I check and see what the real thing is. Because I looked at it because
we talked about something before, and then we both looked at it, and it was crazy. It was like $1,000 microphone, which they were trying to sell for $59.
It's like if it sounds too good to be true, that adage is true. If it sounds too good to be true,
how many people get taken advantage of? Do you think?
A lot, because they're thinking, "Oh my God, I can save money right now." and they buy something and
Doesn't
they
show up.
And they do in the TikTok shop. They do it in
Oh, just the other day, I got notice that from my bank that somebody tried to make 2 purchases. They got one denied and got one through of laptops. Look like up there at a Best Buy in a town I've never been to in Minnesota. My credit card, my debit informations make travels more than I do because it was in someplace in Minnesota. So luckily my bank was right on it. They refunded. They were denied the second charge and they refunded me the first charge. So they were right, and I got another card. Should be issued in a few days. I
Yeah,
guess.
but how many banks have to write this off as doing business?
Right.
And who pays for that in the end?
Well, ultimately the consumer's going to pay for
Consumer
it.
does.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was watching all these things burn down and people looting and all this sort of stuff and things like this going on. And I remember listening to one lady and she said, "Oh, don't worry, these guys all got insurance anyways." I just kept thinking that's the mindset of 90% of these people who do this crap. Oh, they don't care. Because people got insurance.
Well, no, I think with the credit card fraud, it's a big industry, and it's mostly people. Well, in his case, I think it was from Somalia or somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know that, and then they do the fraud and they don't care. But I mean, just people don't give a crap no more. They just take what they want. They take.
Well,
money.
he can give you an example of the one for the one before that you didn't get your money back from.
Oh yeah, the one that was like, somebody called from Wells Fargo, and if there's somebody they claim later on investigated, they said the bank said that somebody spoofed theirs or whatever. But when I called, the number popped up on my caller ID on my phone. It says Wells Fargo, and yeah, I mean, so that that charge that I just got the other day notice, it might have stemmed from that originally.
But both your company, your bank admitted that they were aware of it.
Yeah.
And Wells Fargo's aware of it, but they're not. There's no national message, no news story on Google about it.
Oh, we do have another comment too. Google is being broken up by the Trump administration. Started a court case to break up Google, and Biden kept it going. But Open AI will replace Google. So I mean, that might be. I don't know if that's going to be a benefit of
Well, I think the FCC is antiquated, and all these rules and laws that they're going by are written by what is it, K Street, the lobbyist.
Right.
They need a blue ribbon panel of smart people
to
fix this, especially with AI coming up. You can't let it get out of control before because it'll be too late.
Well, even Musk, who is a tech genius and stuff, he fears this creation of AI, and this not the proliferation of it. The growth.
They call it rogue AI getting away.
Right. So I mean,
and getting away and starting an alternate life.
But you brought up something group too, like we alluded to, is the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. I'd like to know how you can, our nation, I always like to ask people that go back and ask older people, when you had radio being born and when you had TV being born, why did you allow, when you have the First Amendment, why did you allow a government regulatory body to be established? To basically censor what you're going to watch?
Because politically, that's why they wanted it.
Well, I know, but why did they allow? I mean, but I think that people who did value the First Amendment would have had issue with that initially. I mean, it seems like the emphasis on the civil liberties that was guaranteed by the Bill of Rights, for some reason, was basically you handed over to the government you were supposed to have these things in place for to prevent the proliferation of.
It just slowly came on where people were initially more independent mind thinking.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the development of because we talked to Mr. Moss. Originally the parties weren't like this. There wasn't really a Republican Party and a Democrat Party. You would just get behind the people that you wanted to be elected. But what I'm saying, through time, Republicans started hating Democrats. And you know what I mean? The one that was in power could make the laws.
Did I'm going to ask you guys a question. This is often in topics, but I mean, I remember when Rush Limbaugh was big, people were saying that, he created hate and an atmosphere of animosity, between opposing sides. And, talk shows who are such as his, the conservative ones, did get more play and got people thinking more about it. But I don't see it as being creating hatred. I'm basically just asking questions that wasn't being asked, and now people are getting awoke, I guess, to use that expression. They become aware.
I don't think they're woke. They're waking up. There's a difference. They're waking up to it, and I think people are getting to a point where they're like, "Hey, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I'm not just taking people's bull crap no more." It's kind of like we were talking about the toys thing, toy party.
Yeah.
They're like, "I'm tired of your shit," and they're done. I think people are done with crap. And I think Rush Limbaugh started on fire. I think Glenn Beck came in.
But if you think
and
about
lit
it,
that fire,
Rush Limbaugh was like in the middle. He never really took a side on anything because he knew that he still had to have sponsors and everything. He never told anybody what to do.
No, he never told you to write your congressman, senator. He said never get involved. I never heard him say
did
that.
a boycott. Never said to boycott anything. He really didn't have.
He
I mean, he had
spotlighted
an
stuff.
opinion, but he didn't expect you to have his opinion.
No.
And there's a couple of things I disagree. I didn't like NAFTA, and I thought that was a bad, I didn't think it was good. And he liked it. He all pushed for it.
Well, another good thing that he rarely had interviews. I think Donald Trump was the first real interview that he had that took a half an hour of his show.
Saying he had like 3 hours every day, which we do like so many hours a week on this, give or take a few hour or so. But we had 3 people and we come up with topics and stuff. I mean, Rush Limbaugh carried this off. Of course, he had a bevy of people helping him, giving him information on the fly, but he did it on he had 3 hours. And
Well, he would say that he had to get up at like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
For his show and that. So he would know enough about the topics.
Yeah,
and things changed
throughout the day.
Yeah.
And he must have read considerable amount of books and magazine articles and newspaper articles. I mean, he gives people. I didn't appreciate him back then. I do now because I mean I see that Steve goes through and can glean stuff here and stuff, and then we got to watch news and stuff like that. Try to see if we can formulate where our stands at. And he did this on his own for 3 hours a day.
But he also had a team right behind him doing a lot of this stuff. So he helped him. But you're right.
How do you feel about Nevada's Supreme Court just made a decision to count ballots arriving without a postmark up to three days past? I mean, with the postmark, 3 days past the election.
No.
How is that possible?
Vote early, vote often, I guess. If you don't like the outcome, we'll just keep on voting until we get what.
And the same thing like in Virginia, where they knew these people self-reported that they were not Americans, other than American.
I almost called you on
and
Friday,
they took them off the voters' rolls. Yet a federal judge said that they couldn't do that. And these people checked the box and said, I am not a United States citizen.
Yeah.
And so they took them off the voters' rolls and they were told to put these people back on.
Now they're suing and going up to another court, but a federal judge.
But that takes time.
Yeah, and it might not be in time to actually affect this election.
Well, they're actually going to be put into a stay.
But I'm asking, how is this possible in this day and age? That how can a federal judge decide like that? I mean, what was the person going off of?
Not the Constitution.
Yeah, definitely not. That's the thing is they've wiped their ass with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Our politicians, our judges, it doesn't mean anything to them. They mock when you bring it up. You want to get eye rolls from the established political power. Bring up the Constitution. Talk to cops, they roll their eyes. Oh, you're one of them. You talk to a person who is a bureaucrat. Oh, you're one of them. Yeah, we believe in the Constitution.
But the good thing about it is, we're starting to become more of them, and we're starting to get together. There's a lot of like-minded people that came together because of these rallies.
Yeah.
And have stayed together.
They're networking, and guess what? I mean, yeah, I know you'll have your badge carrying at the federal level people sniffing up their bums, but guess what? You're not going to silence everybody.
Well, forget my brain one day.
What are you going to say?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The thing is that Kamala Harris will sit there all the time. She'll sit there and say, something about the Constitution. If you can't follow the Constitution, you're not able to stay behind this seal, right? The funny thing is that woman doesn't know the first thing about the Constitution.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
it's just
I'm sitting there going the whole time. I cringe every time she says that statement.
Right.
But what makes me crazy is how far she's gotten. She's made it all the way to vice president of the United States and had nothing in her brain.
I mean, I just don't see her. I mean, like I said, you get a person.
She was attorney general of one of the biggest states in the United States.
Vote for her.
I mean, the left constantly told me about the lack of vocabulary that Donald Trump, and they wanted to remove him from office using the 25th Amendment. This woman shouldn't be allowed to run as president using the 25th Amendment.
I mean, he just went on the Joe Rogan show and spoke for 3 hours.
Right.
And still had more to say.
I mean, it's just the thing is,
he could have kept going.
I mean, he's been when you're going to find this. You can attest to this. You're a business person. You get to have areas you pay people to give you legal advice. You pay a considerable amount of money, and then you take that and then you get somebody else is giving more legal advice down the road. So you learn the law because you're listening to the people who've already learned a lot. You paid a great amount of money. And if you didn't listen to them, you're going to pay a huge price in lawsuits or whatever. So, I mean, it's gained by it's hardships. That's how you gain knowledge and information is through hardships, suffering hardships. These people like Kamala Harris, they create the hardships.
Right.
Yeah.
99% of the time you do. And but look at what he's going through right now. The 34 counts is putting him in in jail or prison.
Yeah.
Or
I
whatever
think
he's
people
running.
have forgotten about that.
No, but you think it's going into this? It was
Not,
because of
he's
his
been
lawyer.
shot too.
Okay, we got another comment here. If you don't need ID to vote, what's to stop you voting
Okay,
multiple times?
how many times I've had ID to vote in Michigan? You have to have an ID or you have to sign an affidavit.
Right.
David, so that's not an issue in the state of Michigan.
That's
But I think
not an issue in the state of every state.
it shouldn't be, but
I think most states have the same thing. I think this thing is a bullshit
I remember
thing that they try to bring up every election season.
I remember one time, I forget, it was Michigan at a national level. The Democrats were saying it was racist to expect because it's put an imposition on people who are poor to have ID, and then the Republicans turned around and allocated so many millions of dollars to allow them to go get free ID issued to them for the Secretary of State's office or Department of Motor Vehicles or whatever that occurs in different states.
You have to get welfare.
Yeah.
To get any kind of state or government aid, you have to have an ID. So to say these people who are poor don't have an ID, if they have a bridge card, they had an ID at one time.
Well, the another thing
Isn't
is
it racist to say? Isn't it racist?
We need to stop using that terminology.
Okay, I know we
it's
do,
stupid.
but isn't it-
How about saying, isn't it stupid?
All right,
to
isn't it
say it?
stupid? But all right, I'll stop using the word racist after this statement. Isn't it racist though to actually say that somebody doesn't have enough brains to actually go get an ID?
No, it's stupid and ignorant
Yeah.
to say something like
Well,
that. There's nothing racist about it.
It's like, well-
I mean, how do you?
It is
You're
stupid
like
and
making you're like making by making it racist. That's what
You're making an assumption the person doesn't have a brain, and that's kind of stupid.
yeah,
And that's what they should be saying. Is that just because you don't have money that other people have doesn't mean that you're stupid.
that's true too.
This racist stuff needs to go away too. Everything's racist. Remember when everything used to be gay?
Yeah, now you can't say that.
No, you can't. Yeah, that's what they did. They took away everything that was gay that you used to say is gay
No, it's
is
racist.
now racist.
Yeah, when I was younger, when somebody said, "Oh, that's gay," I went, "What does that even mean?" It's just like somebody saying that's sick, and I'm like, okay, like somebody's like throwing up. No, I mean that's bad. I mean, okay, like how do you mean bad?
But it's just
I
a
mean,
word.
Sick used to be
But
good,
they
too.
use that word so much, it doesn't mean it. I mean, somebody call it. I mean, I don't know if I've ever been called racist, but if I
I
were to
haven't.
be called, I don't think
You're
I
white.
just considered the source once. If it's a white person
Mm-hmm.
calling me a racist, that doesn't mean that much, does it?
It's, I will dismiss you because we're racist, and we'll say, "Do you,
No,
you
but
know what
I
it's like?"
honestly don't think. I mean, maybe I haven't read the comments lately. There's probably. I mean, we've been called drunks,
Yeah.
idiots,
Drunks. Oh, well.
boomers.
Well,
But
wait a
I don't
minute.
think we've ever. I
We
don't
got-
think we've been called racist yet.
Maybe we should like fulfill that, that like basically that.
Come in
idea.
here drinking.
Come in here
Drunk,
drinking,
yeah.
get drunk on.
Get drunk on
scale.
Yeah, right. We'll get drunk
You
tonight.
all you'd have to do is come in on a sugar high.
That's it. Yeah. I'll be
Just
high
don't
on
take
sugar.
your insulin and get yourself hyped up on some of your chocolate.
I'll be nice.
We'll just open up a PO box where people can send us like bottles of samples.
But
of stuff
I mean,
you want us to
think
get
about
drunk
it.
on.
Would you give a shit if? Would you care if somebody called you? You're racist.
I've been called racist since I was in college. You get if you don't stand exactly as they stand, you're a racist or a bigot or a sexist or whatever. I worked at the universities for years. I got that. Yeah.
Or you have white privilege.
White privilege, yeah.
Tell me what white privilege.
I don't know.
It's like
You get to work for a living.
Yeah.
You get to work.
You work. What does it mean? You work and you pay your taxes.
Yeah.
And
and I think that's an assumption because I know a lot of how about these guys who actually I know several
don't
really
be racist.
they've got several, well educated and they had great paying jobs. Henry Hatter, he was an engineer for GM. He made great money. I mean,
Henry Hatter's a great guy
does he have black privilege because he actually took an opportunity to go to college and get educated?
and
this
has
is
lots of money.
And this is before civil, the
Same
affirmative
thing.
action.
Same thing with Mr. Trump,
Yeah.
who is actually a doctor, but he was slapped. If you ever called him a
Oh,
doctor.
Mr. Moss.
Moss, sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Moss.
Mr.
Yeah.
Trump, Mr. Moss.
He goes doctors for only medical doctors should be called doctors.
Yeah, he said if they call. Well, speaking of that, did you see that Kamala Harris rally where they had all the doctors on stage
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
woman
it's so
saying it,
sick.
and the person at the podium said, "If there's a medical, if there's a doctor in the house,
If someone
he
helped
got
them.
and had 40 of them on stage.
They all had the white coats
I'm
on.
trying to think. One of you guys get down there.
Oh, how stupid was
Well, they're
that?
all paid actors to try to wear those lab coats.
So I don't
But
really
yeah, but like Mr. Moss says, if there's a medical emergency and you can't attend to it, you're not a doctor.
right. And he's got. I mean, that's not stuff. He deprecating sense of humor. I think he just doesn't take that seriously. I mean, he doesn't. He knows he's got the education because he challenges people all the time. Nobody can come close to me. So he's called out Alan Dershowitz, and if anybody out there has got a connection to Alan Dershowitz, you've
How,
been called
how
out.
does he say the name? He doesn't say. He says something. Dyfowitz or
Dershowitz,
something.
yeah, he kind of.
Dershowitz.
I don't
I
know.
think
if
he
he's
does it on purpose.
I'm pretty certain he does. But I mean, yeah, he's called them out and to accept his challenge. They debate the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, especially about the impeachment process. So if you know anybody, God be like that. I think he would like be in his glory.
Oh,
Actually,
I think it was cool the day that he explained that calling fire in a crowded room or a movie theater is not a First Amendment problem.
yeah,
It's a contract between the business owner
and the customer.
and the customer.
Another thing is too, I mean, because everybody said that was permissible, imposition because out-of-window homes actually said that. Well, out-of-window homes might have been a Supreme Court justice, I think, at one point, but he was wrong about a lot of stuff too. I mean, and it's like
And he was wrong about that.
he was very wrong about that. I mean, it's like you don't want people misinformation stuff like that, but then again, guess what? It's up to the person who is listening to evaluate that to go check it out. I mean, I check out everything I hear on the internet or in the news or whatever, in the newspaper or the magazine articles.
You have to look at all the different, like references and stuff like that. You just can't take one line.
Right.
And
But
say it's
it
true.
goes back to what John was saying about talking to your, I guess, opponents
Right.
or detractors to find out why they're your opponent and why they're your detractor.
You
Yeah.
find out that maybe you actually have a lot more in common than you have behind each other.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like you do when you sit there and like just hurl insults at each other. That's nowhere. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere. I mean, like I used to oppose, smoking
Medical
marijuana.
marijuana.
I
And
mean,
then we had Jeremy and in here who explained to us what good it was. And then we also, at first, when we started doing the Compassion Club here, some of the patients came in that really nothing else would help with their RA
Right.
yeah, and so I mean, it just
and
after
anxiety and that.
and another thing is just that it had to be knocked down. And thing is, see, I think if you're an intelligent person, you can say, you know what, I assessed this wrong incorrectly the first time. You can be open to a
I
change.
mean, and also he talked about the 3 C's too. That you don't need to smoke it to get the
No.
benefits of it,
Right.
and that's what I mean. Even though a lot of the crowd wanted to smoke it because it's the easiest and cheapest way to
Right.
use it.
You get the gummy bears, you get the brownies, you get all the other stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
I never do it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's
My
a
neighbor
point.
did.
Yeah, like-
My neighbor that lives by my mom.
Oh, Philadelphia DA is coming for a Elon Musk about his voter giveaway.
Yeah.
He's
good luck with
doing
that.
It's his money.
something good for people, making people millionaires,
I don't know.
and they're upset.
Okay, so people enter basically it's a kind of a contest, so, where you like a raffle essentially, right, or whatever, and they got a chance to win money. Money's being given out after and when this process has gone through. Their money's weren't given out. Where is it fraud or anything else? What can
Who's
you
it
get 'em on?
hurting?
What do you get?
And
what
I'm
do you
sure
get?
he looked into it before he
yeah.
started, and there's probably some small print somewhere on the site that I haven't read.
What I don't want the people to get false hope and actually have money coming in their lives because they might not need my party, and
Good
they
luck
actually
with-
move on through their life.
Good luck with his attorneys and good luck with Elon's attorneys.
It's just I think it's just the DA trying to get his 15 minutes.
Yeah, just
Good luck with that.
and I bet you find he's Democratic, operative,
Hey, what do you think about the Washington Post subscription story?
Now that one I don't know about. Let's go hear about it. Yeah.
Bezos blocked a endorsement of Kamala Harris, so supposedly over 2,000 people unsubscribed. Because I guess you have to pay to read it, and they're making a big deal of it. Does it really matter? I mean, I've never read it. Have you?
No. When I can't get news free, I figured I'm not going to go pay for it. I mean, unless it's a magazine, it gives you the article, and then you can get like reactions to it. They don't have those anymore. But
That's really not the big one that didn't snub. The big one that snubbed her, the one in her own home state.
I didn't hear
The-
about that.
The California Times didn't do it either.
The California Times,
or the California or something.
the High Times.
Yeah, the High Times. Yeah, you know, one of the doobies. No,
Mhm.
the one that's actually the biggest
Paper
in California.
nobody
Did
wants that
endorsement.
that shit stain on their record.
You don't want. They're not scared of her like they were scared of Hillary,
No.
and they're not scared of her like they're scared of Joe
No, I
Biden.
mean Hillary's a politician that would have done some scary stuff if she would have got in there.
Yeah.
And well, the thing is, though, I do think that remember, did you see that clip where Kamala's talking about when I was a DA, I found out that with a swipe of a pen I could do this, and people have to miss work and all. She was basically saying, "I'm reveling in this power I have."
Well,
you know?
what about her truancy? She had a truancy law,
Right.
that she was arresting and putting parents in jail, and they were losing their jobs and then therefore losing their children.
Yeah.
And she was proud of that.
Yeah, she's proud of it.
Well, and the real reason behind it was because the schools were losing money, or the Department of Education was losing money because of the attendance.
So that wasn't because they wanted the kids to have an education
No.
or indoctrination.
No.
What do you want
The kids are a byproduct
Right.
of them. The students are a byproduct of the state getting money.
It's pretty pathetic, man. I mean, you want to destroy families because you
She
want
was proud of it. I mean, I've seen
she's
seen
quoted
clips
about
on the internet that she was proud
She's
of
smiling. She smiles about it, and she could tell you, "I sent your family to death row." Smile about it. I mean, she'd be happy about it.
No,
she's
that'd
got
be
a
hard.
disconnect there.
That'd be a hard decision. I mean,
I don't think it'd bother her. I do not think
I
there's a
don't think
disconnect
there's
in that
anything
head.
there. Because you heard what Mel Gibson said.
She's dumb
She
as
has the
people.
IQ of a
People.
fence post.
Fence post, yeah.
Oh, I mean, other
Oh, he's a
people-
racist though,
Yeah, well, yeah.
and a Nazi, so it doesn't really
Well, he's
matter.
not a Nazi. He's no. I get so tired of those terms being bandied about because actually, what the Democratic Party does or encourages nowadays seems to be the elites resembles so much more like the Nazis than anything the Republicans have been advocating for. I mean, national control of your very existence, presenting papers, and wanting you to have all kinds of regulation to go through, become considered like
Well,
a
the
First
only
Amendment
thing
exercise.
not to vote, but everything else they want.
Yeah, they want you to basically show proof of everything. That's the left. That's
Right.
the left. It's not, and I don't even know what the right wing. Okay, Bernard Goldberg, I think it was. He wrote a book called Liberal Fascism. I read it several years ago, and actually, there's very little difference between the Nazis and the communists. Matter of fact, the Nazis use like 14 planks of the Communist Party's platform for the Nazi Party. So I mean, where in the hell are they much different?
They're not.
No, they're not. National
No,
Socialism,
No, they like what you're doing until they don't like it.
right? And then you never know what that's going to occur.
Yeah.
So they can come in, kick your door. Well, she's encouraging that, for lawful gun owners, Harris was talking about. Yeah, even if you lawfully, you would come into the sanctity of your own home, and we're going to check see what you're doing with your guns.
And I think it's
That's
cool.
why she doesn't want to do this. All the stuff you guys are talking about. This woman does not want to do a sit down with anybody that's going to challenge her.
No,
And it makes me happy to find out that people keep on saying that the Democrats are letting all these people in because they think they're going to be future Democrats, when that's not holding true.
No, it's
And
not.
it's backfiring on them.
it's like, well, wait a minute, we let you in. No, so that's okay. Well, I just don't like the way you want to run things after that.
Who's that guy that was who's that George Stephanopoulos, or the guy that worked for Bill Clinton?
Yeah, just
Yeah, yeah.
Stephanopoulos, yeah.
So he was on this morning, and they were talking about the Trump rally last night. And this guy was telling them, he said, listen, Donald Trump, he said, everyone else has to promise everybody with concerts and everything else. Donald Trump has a movement behind him.
Right.
When he showed, people weren't there for.
I don't know if it's just people agree with them. I think everybody thinks for themselves, so they're not drinking the Kool-Aid either.
Right.
Well, the left will always say
They
that.
want to tell you that they're.
But-
I'm not a Democrat, and I'm not a Republican. I would think that I'm a moderate, and I think John would be a libertarian.
I'm a staunch libertarian because I vote for the party and I would give them the money but they can't get out of they can't get into.
But I vote for the person.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if they're blue or red.
I'm more independent. I lean toward the red more than I lean.
But right now, Donald Trump is the horse I'm riding into town.
Because I mean, he's got the most the likelihood of him coming along to what I believe in or something, or I've already believe in. It's already there. I mean, he doesn't have to come to a center or something like that. He's where he's at now. I have to
No,
a lot of
he's a moderate, and I like that.
right. I mean, the left try to depict him as this vehement anti-abortion. He really isn't. He wanted
And that's stupid too. I mean, if you're a one trick pony that you're gonna vote for the person that wants to make abortion legal or illegal, you're an idiot.
yeah, I
in
mean,
my
I,
book.
I just think that's like really short sighted because I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't see the need for abortion. I really don't because
No.
I mean, I think if you're like above the age of 10, you should probably know where babies come from and what causes baby to be made. And if you don't want that, don't engage in or take precautions. I mean, I don't know how much.
But
how
you
much
can't.
more can
Okay, as a Christian, you understand that.
Right.
As a Christian,
Rape and incest, that one. is
right? But
something totally
no, I don't
different.
want to go into
Yeah.
that stuff. I'm just saying, if that's your only reason for voting for somebody, you're stupid. But as a Christian, I don't want somebody to get an abortion. A woman to get an abortion.
Yeah, it's a life. I don't see how they can. I
But
think
if
it's,
they can live with it, and it's their decision,
It's between them and God.
it's up to them.
I just all I know is like don't expect me to be in your cheering section. I mean,
No,
I
but that making that an issue, hopefully after this year it's gone. I mean, it should be in the back of your mind.
well, but you know, we just a lot. Unfortunately,
I
when
don't know. I don't know what the Democrats will run on after
if
this.
that, if they didn't have
Well,
that,
that's
they
the
wouldn't
thing.
have anything else.
He really took it away from him
Yeah,
when he
That's
gave
what
it to
pissed
the
him off.
states. But they're trying to make it an issue where it's not, because there's no way that there's so many people against it, so many people for it. You can't win in Congress.
Right.
Either way, you're going to lose. So there's no way these weak noodles are going to vote yes or no for national abortion
And I
ban.
think that's what's pissed them
It's
off.
never
the
going to
most.
come up.
That's what's pissed them off the most.
Even if a president wanted it, it would never happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we've seen that demonstrated. Well, the hippie conservative, you know, George, he made the point one time. He said, you know, if all these conservative senators and congressmen have been in their positions for years, always said they're anti-abortion. If they really had truly meant that, they could have done something years ago, but they never did.
No,
They never did. It
they
was just
don't
a way
do
to get
anything.
money. That was just a way to get
They
money.
don't
from
want to
people.
do anything except become millionaires.
Right. Now they do that adequately. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
anyone
how
who-
long has it been going that like Ron Paul and different people are trying to bring up bills that the congressmen shouldn't be able to be in the stock market, and
Of course, you're not
they
going to
all
pass that.
oppose that, don't they?
Yeah, they oppose.
I mean, because
Why
we
would-
talked about it, that there's an app that follows how Congress invests,
right.
so you can invest like them and
So-
make good stock investments.
So I guess when they increase your taxes, at least you got enough money to cover it. But no, he's right because you don't have enough money as they do, so you can invest
But
initially.
they do nothing.
No, they don't do anything. They don't. They're not going to stop it because they're going to say, "What the hell? That's what we
I
got."
mean,
into
when's the
politics
last
for."
time that they've done anything meaningful?
Congress,
Yes.
I can't think of
That
it.
you can think of that's changed your life.
1770.
No, I mean, I'm talking about your lifetime.
Yeah, like they don't go back when it was originally
Nothing.
started. No.
What have they done?
Oh, yeah, let's see. They don't even officially declare us, get us put into wars because they withhold that. They just do
No, they don't even do their job on that.
no. So I mean, we're in wars even though they're not officially declared, and Congress is supposed to be able to do that. I mean, we did it in the Second
Well,
World
money's
War.
not supposed to go to
Then all these
anywhere
countries?
unless Congress says okay.
Yeah, but what did Obama have? Like stuff like they had to print it, shrink wrapped, and put on pallets and drop to some country. I mean, that didn't get. I hope it didn't get. I didn't hear anything.
You're
about
thinking about
congressional-
something.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to think about when was the last time they did something that was.
They haven't.
He's gonna think about it all night. He's gonna say,
No, I am. I'm trying to think, and it's
Googling
really
and-
hard because I cannot remember the last time they did something that really did anything that actually mattered to the American people.
No, nothing. If foreign interest, the lobbyists, yeah, but not the rest of us. No.
I mean, they've done things like the last thing that they did where Trump came out with it was the thing about helping the veterans go out to community care. That's the last thing that I remembered, but then they've sabotaged that after Biden came back in.
Well, they make it hard. It's not even. I only know a lot about it because I used to work at the VA. But
Right.
the average veteran has no idea of their rights as far as medical.
Wow.
No, there's probably veterans out there that are covered and don't even know that they're covered just because of the wherever they went to war or served at was
At
just
what
an
time?
area
Right.
that allows them to have 100% coverage as
Right.
far as medical goes. It's
Right.
just government doesn't make anything easy.
No.
Mhm.
You know that as a business owner.
They don't make anything easy for business. They don't make anything
I mean,
easy
how-
for
how-
veterans. They don't make it easy for you as a citizen.
No,
But they do make it easy for one thing, for them to take the money out of your wallet.
Yep. And that happens too often.
And that's the whole thing. The only thing they do every time they come to Congress, every time they come in session, is they take money out of your wallet. That's
So,
it.
so maybe it's good if they stay away from
Oh,
DC.
look at McConnell's been in there since I think
85.
1985.
Oh my God.
And he's been the leader since 2007. Do you think Congress was never meant to retire from?
No.
I would let well maybe Mr. Moss can explain that on his next show. Is when did they get retirement and all these benefits?
That'd be good.
There shouldn't be any retirement. There shouldn't be any benefits other than whatever's the highest benefit that's in your state.
You should get that.
That's what you should be using for your Blue Cross. Like in Michigan's probably Blue Cross or something
Right.
like that for your medical.
do
You
you
should
think-
have state insurance and not a national insurance made up by you.
Do you think that once you get out of office, you should have any benefits?
No,
No, I don't either.
no. Did you? I mean,
No.
if you
No.
would if you went and got hurt in the military,
No. I don't
what would
think-
you have?
Nothing.
Nothing. Same thing. If I wanted to retire from the military, I'd
You
have nothing.
All right.
So why should I, who actually, I mean,
Did the
I
20
did it.
years.
Well, first of all, I did it because I wanted to, but
Right.
I actually went to war a couple times and
Right.
and seen bullets being fired in different directions. But if I would have got out, other than because I was in the Gulf War, I was covered 100% medical. But I didn't know that until like almost, I don't know, almost 10 years after I retired.
Really?
See, that's the thing is they got well, we give this to you, but we didn't want you to know about
No,
it.
because they don't want me to, obviously didn't want me to use it.
That's if you can keep that money going, that's going to be ours, or something. What are they going to do with it? You're going to, stick it aside and accumulate
But I don't
interest
know
or
about
something,
you.
or
I
what?
hate going to the VA because I know they're keeping records on me because of my coverage right now, and they're always looking for reasons to take stuff away from you.
You always have to go to appointments. You always have to make.
I don't go. All I get is just high blood pressure medication, and that's it. I'm waiting until I get my Medicare to go to a real doctor.
That's the problem. A lot of people, the doctors, they get inadequate. I mean, I've saw the papers, articles on
Well,
that.
it's not inadequate.
Now you have
I
a
had a
doctor.
great doctor, but I've had 6 doctors in the last 5 years. I don't well, not 6, 4 doctors in the last 5 years. I had a great doctor that I was happy with at the VA, and I was comfortable with talking.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, he's gone, and they put somebody else in there.
So that's, you don't have
Well,
any input on that either.
But now they do is where you have to go in and you sit there and watch the computer, and a nurse does all the things for the doctor for you.
Well, that's pretty much like a,
And,
Well, everywhere else does that.
yeah.
well, and then the other side is here's the thing. My back is bad. My back is screwed up. For my chiropractor, to do chiropractor, I only get 12 visits for 6 months.
You should go probably weekly, right? You think, or at least
No,
once a
they
week?
want me in there 2 or 3 times a week.
Mhm.
I can't do that because the way they do it, and that's how it is. So no matter what your back screwed up with, no matter how bad your back is messed up, even those things, this is how they rate you in your whole back. And there's a way that they can fix my back in the way that the community care can fix my back, but they can't. But the VA won't approve of it because it's not their system, because this is how it does it. But if you're a congressman, right, that doesn't go into war, doesn't do anything, guess what? You go in there, they'll fix your whole back. This is what we go with.
They create an elite group of people. They never, and who they answer to.
This is what we deal with, and this is
Well,
why.
like I said, I don't like for me the VA is a hassle to go to see a doctor, and not only that, you never know who the nurse or whatever is gonna. You don't have the same nurses
No.
every time you go.
No.
Who's ever on duty becomes the nurse.
Right.
It's just not. And because what really ticks me off is when I first got out of the military, I had great insurance
Mhm.
because it was. I don't know if you ever heard of TRICARE.
Yeah.
That's what it was when I first got out.
Right.
So I could go. I had a civilian doctor in Lapeer, which is not too far, that I
Right.
really liked, that I was going to for probably, I don't know, 5 years. And then all of a sudden, Humana or whatever it was came in. They privatized it. They private
Right.
and made all these companies took over. And then all of a sudden I had copays, and all of a sudden I had to pay for the insurance that was free when I first got
Came
out of the
out.
military.
Right.
And all of a sudden the doctor that I was going to wasn't in the network, so I couldn't go to him anymore.
That sucks.
No, I mean that's what Congress does. I mean, the military is the first. They're like the canary in the coal mine.
Yep.
We're the first ones to get cut for anything.
But they want you to
I
go.
mean, I'm talking about retirees and
And veterans, disabled vets.
yeah.
But we're the ones that on Memorial Day, or if they want to take a picture,
Yeah, they
we're
want
the
you,
ones that they call up and get
the
the
photo
picture
op.
for.
Yeah, the photo op. After we were your friend, remember? The difference with,
And
you
that's the
you screwed me
Republicans
over.
and the Democrats.
Oh yeah, well,
and they don't.
I'm
care.
sick of both sides.
I am too.
I mean, there's not, and even Rand Paul. I'm sick of him too. I mean, what has he done? Nothing. He bitches about everything and votes against shit. But what has he really done? Nothing.
well, you can't get people to go along with him, I
And
guess.
then there's
But
people that like.
No, you can get people
Like,
on something like this. You can fix it.
but what I'm saying is they don't want to fix it. They don't want to go in there and ruffle anybody's feathers, because what they want to do in there, it's better to be seen and not heard, and be able to retire from Congress after a nice long, get your gold watch and move on.
I think you're too. I think that's
Look,
true.
Kamala Harris didn't do crap
No.
while she was a senator.
No,
No.
well, she didn't do crap as a vice
She probably
president.
didn't even show up to vote. I bet you nobody's really, because they stopped with their voting records online.
Well, look at Obama didn't do anything when he was senator of Illinois. He just spent his time gathering for momentum to run as president. I mean, he didn't do anything significant as a senator from Illinois. So
But the military, the media was all for him. They made him.
yeah, exactly. Because Oprah says he's a nice guy. It was
At
really
that time, Oprah was.
He did nothing but split this country
right.
down the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even give us a chance. He just made us bad people just because we were white.
Yeah, and he was a bottom feeding opportunist, I think. But that's why I always thought him one of our first term speak. I knew he was going to get elected.
They try to make him the Godfather, and then they pull him out for Kamala Harris, and people just laugh at him when he comes out in his mom jeans. He got the stretch top.
Yeah, he looked pretty older.
Oh, there's nothing worse than watching him throw that baseball.
Yeah.
If you can't throw a baseball, you shouldn't be able to be president.
No.
That should be one of the things. Here's baseball. You want to either baseball, if you can do underhand,
Fine,
but you have to be
good at it.
I'll let you throw underhand if it's softball.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can't throw a baseball or a softball, and if
Don't
you can't
even
catch
run.
it, don't bother running.
I've
Or a
seen-
football, you have to be able to throw a football too.
Well, that's one good thing I learned at elementary school to learn how to throw. Thanks to Fred Retman, this community school director, and he was / coach and teacher. So yeah, we made sure we knew how to throw a football with the perfect spiral.
Right.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So you can run for president.
Yeah, so I can run for president. Yeah.
Well, now I'm saying, if you not an average person, I mean, if you can't do what an average person can do, you shouldn't be able to run for president.
Yeah, because you can't fit in with an average person. We do not want you as president. And that's true.
I think you should have some basis in reality too, that know what the other people go through. I mean, Obama never did. I mean, he never did anything that the average person did. I mean, well, maybe
Well, he smoked
He played
marijuana.
basketball.
He smoked marijuana and took drugs.
and take
He
drugs.
took drugs and he sold drugs.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay, but that's only
That's
certain
in his
segment of
book.
society. Yeah. That's
He's our first drug dealer as the president.
That wasn't speculation, folks, or
It's
a
in his
rumor.
book, his own words.
Was it Audacity of Hope, wasn't it? Or,
I don't know.
Or
Something
Dreams
to
of
my
My
father.
oh, those
Dreams of My
notes from my
Father.
father. Yeah. He only met his dad once, and he's got
Well,
all
he
these
doesn't
imaginary
know
conversations.
The
with them.
dad that he says that's his dad.
Yeah.
That might have been when he was in a little bit. Of
Yeah, maybe he's doing those drugs.
He was sired
Sired. Yeah, it's
like
Alright.
a prize bull.
Oh boy.
All right, so now we're off. All right.